It's the Shatkin First Down Pregame Show, presented by Dr. Todd Shatkin and the Aesthetic Associates Center, with your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin, and our special guest, social media influencer Madeline Hall from Game Day Buffalo. Now, from the Shatkin Sports Network studios in Amherst, here are your hosts, Rich Gaenzler and Dr. Jared Shatkin.
Welcome to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show. Happy New Year. Hopefully your Christmas was fantastic. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. We'll have the Mafia here, Sam Castronova. Special guest Madeline Hall from Game Day Hospitality going to join us as well. We're going to break down all the games. Of course, the Jet game coming up, but we'll start with the New England game, which, you were there. I don't know what it was like for you being there, especially in the first half. I watching from home, it seemed really quiet, really subdued in terms of the crowd, which means what? The Patriots in the first half took the crowd out of the game because the Bills didn't look like they were in the game themselves.
No, it was a pretty boring first half, to be honest. You didn't see much offensively out of the Bills. Josh seemed to be, not maybe missing some of his reads, throwing it, and there's really no separation from the receivers. It was kind of going back to that 2-week stretch we had versus the Ravens and the Texans, where it was just a difficult game to watch. And then the defense was kind of getting it taken to them by Drake May and Rashad Stevenson there. So I got to give the Patriots credit. They came out with more energy. They're an NFL football team. They're a pro team, and they came out with more energy than the Bills, and we're lucky we found a way to win that game.
Yeah, up 2 touchdowns early in that game, and Drake May looked really good. I think that guy's going to be a good quarterback. That touchdown throw to Booty was unbelievable. You had such a small little window to put that in. That was fantastic. You ran the ball. They were great with third downs. And they absolutely owned the lines of scrimmage on both sides of the ball in that first half. And then the Bills started getting it going, and we've been talking about this all year long, that this team is a second-half team.
Yeah, they made a lot of good adjustments at halftime, and they only let up 7 points to the Patriots in the second half, and they had some turnovers, and not all of them were, some of them were Drake May's fault, that interception, and also that other, that fumble in the end zone was Drake May's fault. But, the Bills at least got a pass rush in that second half, so that was a little bit more of something that we can kind of build on. I think, having Balin Spector in the game was a little confusing to me
too.
Early. And then when Dorian Williams played more snaps in the second half, I think the defense as a whole started to get a little more confident. And then offensively, I still didn't even think we really had that great of a second half, but we found a way to put up some points and come away with the win.
Yeah, James Cook for me is maybe the most underrated back in the league as far as I'm concerned. 14 rushing touchdowns. He had the big rush touchdown, had a pass touchdown as well, a receiving touchdown as well. He's just fantastic. He's 2 away from tying the rushing record single season that OJ has from back in '75 at 16. He might break that. For a guy to have 15-plus touchdowns in a year, you're talking in some years, that's almost MVP level.
Well, I think he really carried the whole offense in that game. He had that big touchdown run, and he was having some very successful runs the whole entire game. And then he also has a touchdown catch. So without James Cook, what are we looking at in that game? Losing to the 3-11 Patriots. So you got to give him credit. He's been in the kitchen all year, and James Cook, one of my favorite players for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And Ty Johnson, again, coming up big with the run that basically clinched the game, getting that first down on that final drive that basically was able to, or helped the Bills run out the clock. He, again, proving to be so good. It came out officially, too, and we got a little nervous when Josh is shaking the right hand. It ends up being the funny bone, but we also find out officially that it's a broken hand, his left, but we think, you're a doctor, clearly. 6 weeks, typically, you think it's probably healed by now?
Yeah, I think it's probably healed by now. I think he's probably wearing the glove for what I heard was superstition. It definitely is something that probably affected him early in the year, and even up until the 49ers game, I saw him pinching that hand a little bit. So it's not like he really gave it that much time to heal. I bet you it's still strained a bit. I don't think it affects his game at all right now.
I was nervous, though. That the one pick in the end zone, underthrown by a lot to Coleman, was something we haven't seen him do much, if at all year long. Another one that was a near pick, a great play by the linebacker, almost got it. These are throws that you don't typically see Josh make in tight coverage windows, and he did, and almost got caught twice. He did get caught once with it, but these are things that we haven't seen them do. They put the ball on the ground in terms of Cook and Shakir, but again, the Bills kind of, I don't want to say they got lucky, but things went their way. You mentioned the unforced errors, right? The May interception, as far as I'm concerned, is an unforced error.
Right.
The backwards pass, the fumble in the end zone, is an unforced error as far as I'm concerned. So, look, I mean, the Patriots, give them a couple of years, give Drake May a little bit longer to develop, have them add people to the roster. But in that game, they were clearly overmatched in terms of personnel.
Well, exactly. And I think that what also helped the Patriots is the Bills personnel was a little bit weak, because we're looking at both our starting safeties out and Rasul Douglas out, and Balen Spector starting at linebacker. So and also I think the Bills had a bit of a vanilla game plan. I don't think they wanted to show everything that they're going to have to show in the playoffs. So the fact we came away with the win, most of the guys stayed healthy, I think it's a positive moving forward.
Now, of course, the big question, I'll ask you more about this when we talk about the Jets, will be next two games, are guys going to get rest, right? I mean, obviously, a lot will be dependent on what happens with the Chiefs game next up. If the Chiefs lose, then we're really talking about that last week of the season. But we'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Coming up next, Madeline Hall from Game Day Hospitality. Stay right here. She'll join us on the Shatkin F.I.R.S.T Buffalo pregame show.
RV shoppers, Myers RV invites you to shop over 100 brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes from all the leading manufacturers. Myers RV is the largest family-owned RV dealer in the Northeast, with over 2,000 new and used RVs in stock. Right now, all remaining 2024 models are being offered at drastically reduced prices. Myers RV has 3 convenient locations in Rochester to serve you. Just a quick trip east on the 90 to save you thousands. Online at MyersRVs.com. Go Bills!
Hi, I'm Dr. Todd Shatkin here with Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas.
My family and I have been coming to Dr. Shatkin's dental office for years. The office is beautiful and the staff is outstanding.
Thanks, Thurman. It's been an honor for me to take care of you and your family.
For a Hall of Fame smile, go where the pros go. Dr. Todd Shatkin at the Aesthetic Associates Center.
Call today for a free consultation, 839-1700.
All right, well, this lady, man, has she been on a serious journey over the past couple of years. She was a high-end hospitality worker, and I mean that in the best sense of the term, in terms of being a cook, a chef, all that great stuff. From there, she goes and starts up her own clothing line, then gets back into the food industry, kind of, sort of, as an influencer in the foodie world, and still does that. And then she gets into the Bills tailgate industry with Game Day Hospitality. She's everywhere. Buffalo Food Slut, Madeline Hall, joins us on the show. Good to see you.
I love that. What an intro.
Hey, it's everything, right? I mean, that's pretty much what you've been doing during most of your adult life, right?
It has been. The growth has been insane. I never thought that running a food blog would take me to where I am now, but I always knew I was going to be my own boss. I just didn't know what industry that was going to be, but I say it a million times. I don't know if you were ever in hospitality, but the hospitality industry, everyone should do it for a year. Teaches you so much and how to work with so many people, customer service, and it really helps my work ethic 100%.
So for people that, like, let's just say they're sick and tired of setting up their own tailgate. It's a hassle. It's a long day, and they want to enjoy what you guys do. So what do people, if they want to go to the tailgate against the Jets this weekend and they want to be part of Game Day Hospitality, first of all, what do they do and what are they getting?
So it is a hassle-free tailgate, and we mean that. You show up and everything's taken care of, from the fire pits, from the tables, chairs, the heaters that we have. We have TVs playing the other games that are going on in the VIP area, so a little bit of an upgrade. We have a DJ, and if we don't have a DJ, we have a live band. And then we have chicken wings made on site. So we have Double Dubs, which is Josh Allen's favorite chicken wing company from Wyoming, or we have Wing Nuts. Next week, we have Wing Nuts, which is Barstool Sports and a ton of the Bills players' favorite chicken wings. So they have fryers on site making wings. We have Salon's hot dogs on charcoal, open pit, getting cooked. O'Neill's, that's right next door, does all of our catering. They do 3 waves, so the food is fresh. Then we have full liquor service in the VIP bar, and then regular beer and seltzers for the regular tickets. But you just go on GameDayBuffalo.com and go grab your tickets, and there's 3 different tiers: non-drinking, drinking, and VIP. Eventually, we're going to be doing ultra VIP with, like, having personal chefs in there, you know, like different uniforms for the workers and just like leather furniture, turf, you know, we're going a little bougie these days. But when we mean hassle-free, like, that's the point. Like, my parents used to set up a whole entire tailgate. They came once to my tailgate after me 8 times, like 8 tailgates in a row of me begging them to like, just come by for an hour, come see it. They came once, and for the last 2 years, they've never gone back. And they had great real estate. They had great people that they were next to forever. And they're like, the fact that we just get to show up and we don't have to bring a thing to us just is everything. And my parents get a little special treatment.
Yeah, go figure. So you have seen Bills Mafia sort of next level. I mean, do they continue to surprise you? Because you've obviously, as your thing has grown, obviously your crowds have grown. There's more people now, and the energy level has grown. I mean, talk about Bills Mafia. I mean, this is a football show we're on. So talk about Bills Mafia, not only home with the games at Highmark, but you've done a bunch of stuff on the road with Bills Mafia as well, right?
100%. We were just in LA with Andre Reed. So we've been blessed to do a lot of private parties for Bills players, but it's always been private. But a few of them lately are obsessed with being a part of the Bills Mafia crew. And they're like, you know what? As long as we have our own area, like we want the fans. We want to meet everyone. And LA was just that to a T. You know, people coming from around the world, and so many people that were truly from Buffalo, New York, but have been living out in LA, or their roommate in college was a Bills fan. But like the outfits that they keep coming out with, like, are insane. And in Detroit, it was freezing and raining, but that did not stop anyone. We basically sold out of that tailgate. And people are just coming up to us. Like in Buffalo, we have on Sunday, we had 10 countries and 20 states at our tailgate. Wow. We had 15 people from Australia, and it was 4 different groups. And 2 of them had mutuals. 2 of them went to college together. Like I think it's the sense of community, running into people and just being like, oh, I'm a Bills fan because my mom went to college at this university and her roommate was from Buffalo. And you're like, okay, so you're a Bills fan now. But like, it's cool too, because I obviously run Game Day's Instagram page. So now I'm learning so much about football. And I can't believe how many famous people are getting on board, and all the news reporters, like you saw when they came to Buffalo with the red jacket, the guy who like gave the red jacket to a Bills fan and like sent it back to him. And then I'm literally just clicking on the TV, and then all of a sudden I see sports reporters with folding tables, and they're breaking tables, but they've never talked about Buffalo before. You know, I say, if you're a product and you're trying to get into a new market yourself as Bills Mafia, because they are going to jump on board, literally jump on board.
No doubt. All right. So people, if they want to go, once again, give out the website, and then I want you to give out your personal stuff too, so people can follow you.
Amazing. Game Day Buffalo. The company as a whole is Game Day Hospitality. So if you are in other cities and you are a Panthers fan or a Kansas City fan, we do have hubs that's meant for those fans as well. But most importantly, we're Bills Mafia. So GameDayBuffalo.com, Game Day Buffalo on Instagram, and our Instagram does over 2.2 million impressions a month, and it's great content, personal. We answer all of our DMs if you have any questions. And then myself is Buffalo Food Slut, or Madeline Hall, BFLO. And you are going to start to see a lot more behind the scenes of what it takes to be a quote unquote influencer, creative director, and really branding yourself as a business owner.
Yeah, we are just days away from this big announcement from you, so we're looking forward to that. I know.
It's so funny. People were going up to my brother, his fiance, my business partner, cornering them at the gym, cornering them at that bar. What's the news? What's the news? You know, and I love it. I'm like, for once in my life, I'm keeping something private until I can publicly announce it. And that's like the most exciting part.
Good for you.
A little bit of a campaign.
Yeah. And you've already put out hints subtly, I'm sure, throughout this interview. So I can't believe I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm not that good of a detective. So anyway, if you want to go to the tailgate, it's, by the way, it's like right on Abbott. If you're going
right next
down,
to O'Neill's.
Yeah, right next to O'Neill's.
Across the street from Prohibition. Yep. But it is like, we gave it like it's like kind of like a speakeasy vibe. Like you're getting your wristbands on, and then all of a sudden you walk through the gate, and then all of a sudden it just opens up to a sea of thousands of people. It's pretty awesome.
It's a beautiful thing. Hey, great to see you. I am so happy for all your success. Keep it going, and we look forward to January 3rd.
Thank you. Cheers.
And the Jets. Cheers to you.
Yes. Can't wait. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Shatkin Jr., board-certified plastic surgeon. In addition to my many other aesthetic treatments, I'm now offering the revolutionary 4D facelift exclusively for you. Look your best in the new year, Make the resolution right now to give us a call at the Aesthetic Associates Center. Come in for a free consultation. Just mention Buffalo Healthy Living Magazine, 716-800-6026, and find out more at drshatkin.com.
Growing up, we always celebrated Christmas. Lots of family, lots of food. I would say the best year ever was when we got our dog Layla. She's now an 11-year-old golden doodle, so that's got to be the best Christmas we've ever had. Here in Buffalo, we have a lot of family and friends, so I'm happy for everyone that supports me outside of the office, and I'm especially grateful for everyone here and the team at Aesthetic Associates Center.
From the Aesthetic Associates Center, we wish you a happy and healthy holiday season. Are you hungry? Eat! Stabilize your loose dentures with Shatkin Mini Dental Implants.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. It's time to go in the pocket. All right, with pro quarterback Sam Castronova, Buffalo native, indoor Football League MVP, and lots of great things happening for you in the football world, which we hope to tell folks about soon. That being said, let's talk a little bit about the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, it seems pretty simple. Guy not very nimble anymore, so get after him, right?
No, yeah, I mean, he's still got good pocket movement, but in terms of him extending plays and actually taking off the run, it doesn't look like he's got much left in the tank, which is sad because he used to be pretty good at it pre-Achilles injury. But yeah, kind of the same thing as who did we just play recently?
Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff. Just kind of keep him in the pocket and take away his first couple reads, and then hopefully the pressure gets there.
Well, I was going to say, if Rasul Douglas isn't back, I mean, that defense has been abused.
Yeah, I mean,
recently.
Last game you could see why they haven't been playing Elam. I mean, he struggles a lot, especially with our scheme. I think I just don't think he just does not look comfortable playing corner, which is crazy because he's played DB his whole life. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of banged up injuries, and they're still playing hard, even though they stink. They're still playing hard, so you never know what could happen.
I was going to say, you got Adams and you got
Garrett Wilson.
And you got Garrett Wilson. You would figure, depending on who the Bills are playing on the opposite side, that they got a scheme to get one of those guys open and a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to play man, then those guys are very good at beating man coverage, so it's going to be interesting. I still think it's a test for our pass defense.
For sure, for sure. All right, stay right there. Get rid of the ball first. We're going to Mafia. All right, welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. You just saw this guy. You saw that guy earlier. You've seen that guy before. Jack has been on as well. That's Mark. Time for the Mafia. All right, fellas, let's talk about the Patriots game. Jack, you're first because you're like, oh, I haven't gotten a question yet. All right, you're getting the first question. Did that game against the Patriots worry you at all, especially from the defensive side of the ball?
Maybe just a little bit. I don't think that the defense really came ready to play to start the game, and against a bottom-tier NFL team, you got to always be ready, especially a divisional game. So I think they just come out a little more fired up next game. Every game's a big game, you know. So I think that'll help.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Good answer. All right, Mark, over to you. What about this whole thing about, you know, the Bills being a second half team as we approach the playoffs, playing good teams in the playoffs? You want to be a more well-rounded team, I would think, start to finish,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yep. And we had this trouble early. You know, even Josh said we weren't ready. You got to be ready. You know, you're a playoff team. It's just mind-blowing how we just get off to these slow starts. New England had a lot to play for. They're playing for their coach, his job. You guys talked last week about the quarterback. You know, we're going to see him for the next 10 years. And, man, that one touchdown pass in the corner, right on the button, and he was under pressure. They came to play. This was their playoff game. And they kind of proved themselves, at least in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. Sam, what about you? What do you make of all of this? I mean, it's been sort of a trend, albeit the Bills played with. I mean, I wrote it down. I got at least 7 guys that were backups on defense at one point in the game.
Yeah,
right.
We were definitely banged up on that side of the ball. So I mean, I don't think New England was as concerning as the 2 weeks prior when we had everybody. The Rams putting up 44, the Lions putting up 42. So it's somebody tweeted Josh is going to have to be perfect in the playoffs, and he is statistically the best playoff QB of all time. But I just hope that it doesn't come down to that. I hope we can get timely stops like the Kansas City Chiefs somehow always seem to do. So hopefully we can get healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah, and Jared, did his performance, Josh himself, that affect his MVP?
I don't think so.
No?
I think he's done enough this year to win the MVP. What it showed me is that we got to get our seeding so we can get him some rest, because I think he's a guy who's never going to sit down, and he's going to always want to be that warrior on the field. But right now we need him to be rested for that first round of the playoffs. That's why I don't think the game is all that concerned. I think my concern is the health of Josh Allen and the rest of the team for the playoffs.
All right, so obviously the Jets are next against the Bills at home. Last game of the year at home, well, until the playoffs, obviously. But, Jared and I talked about it in the open. This game could be tougher than people. I mean, people just assume that the Jets are terrible, that Aaron Rodgers is terrible, and they're just going to come in and lay down. And, Mark, what do you think? We need a score prediction. You'll start it off.
I'm going to say that it's going to be 17-14 Bills.
Okay, close one, Sam.
I'm going to go 27-24 Bills.
Okay, and Jack?
I'm going to go 24-17 with the Bills coming back and winning.
Okay. They were at least tied or trailing. Okay, like they did against New England. Very good. All right, fellas, it's time to do the crossovers. Tino's Dough. You know the rules if you've been watching. If not, basically, guys that have played for both franchises, in this case the Bills and the Jets, are going to ask these guys, give them some hints, and if they chime out and get the right answer, they're going to get progressively more pizza as we go. If they get one question right, it's a medium. 2, it's a large. 3, it's a shoot. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. First one. And I think this is going to be hard. I might have stumped all of you on all of these. And some of you guys are all pretty young. You're all 30 and under, the 3 of you. The 2 of us are dinosaurs. But so you might not get the third one. But here we go. First one. This guy played quarterback. He also played wide receiver. He also returned kicks. Brad Smith is right. Whoa! Done, my man.
You said we weren't getting none of them. Come on.
That's impressive. All right, you got one. Here we go. This guy's best years as a wide receiver were with the Saints before coming to the Bills and then ending with the Jets in the late 90s and the early 2000s. He wore number 88, 10 touchdowns, over 14 yards per catch when he was a Bill. Anybody know? Late 90s, early 2000s. Number 88.
Late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, man.
80-plus catches his 2 years with the Saints. A little bit less than that when he was with the Bills. More of a complimentary number 2 wideout.
Give it to us.
Quinn Early, everybody. Quinn Early.
Oh, I knew that.
Last one. We're at a medium. This is for a large. Here we go. This former 80s linebacker and part of, here's 2 weeks in a row, a Bermuda Triangle question.
Okay.
This 80s linebacker and part of the Bermuda Triangle ended his career in the strikes-shortened season of 87 with the Jets after playing his entire career as linebacker for the Bills. After that, he went on and was an assistant at UB, then a head coach in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints.
Dave Hazlitt.
Who?
Hazlitt? But what's his first name?
I'll give it to Jim Hazlitt. That's right. All right. Well done.
Yeah, but I only knew because of the coach.
How's your back? How's your back feel right now?
It's good. I'm a dentist.
It's sore. But you carried all 3 of these guys. You carried all 3 of these guys. Nice job. 2 out of 3. Okay, we'll come back. We'll talk about the Bills and the Jets when we return on the Shatkin First Down Buffalo Pregame Show.
I am so happy with my experience that I had at I Smile Spas today. Got my teeth professionally whitened. I have months of results in less than an hour. No pain, seriously not even a sting. They're not sensitive. You leave with a kit to continue your whitening. Absolutely incredible. I'm so happy I ever did this. I can't stop smiling.
Western New York. Smile again with confidence. Call 43-SMILE today.
It means a lot to be able to work with my dad to continue this legacy that we have going on.
I had many implants. Once I got them, it was like the old me came back.
The changes you can make in such a short period of time in somebody's life, have somebody in the chair crying because they finally have a full set of teeth. And I think the only way to do it in that type of time period for that type of price is really the mini implant.
Mini dental implants can change your life too. Call us at 839-1700 for a free consultation.
Welcome back to the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show. Let's talk Jets. Rich Gaenzler, Dr. Jared Shatkin. I guess my question for you is, why is Aaron Rodgers still playing for this team if there's a thought that he might be back next year, you know?
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of Aaron Rodgers fatigue myself. I can't imagine Jets fans are loving this guy throughout the season, but he has been playing some decent ball. Him and Davante Adams are starting to hook up a tiny bit. But, yeah, if I was the Jets, I'd sit him down and say, hey, take a rest the rest of the season and let's run it back again and see what we could do.
I mean, there's lame ducks all over that team, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, if decides to come back or not, and obviously the coach. They got to go out and get a coach, obviously. Yeah. But it's funny. Like, I know they rag on Aaron Rodgers a lot, but, I mean, statistically, he's really not that bad. He's right behind Josh Allen in terms of completion percentage. Mm-hmm. They have almost identical touchdown interception numbers, right? The yardage is close too. I mean, almost identical. Obviously, the difference is Aaron Rodgers is completely immobile and Josh isn't.
Yeah.
But the Jets, I mean, they only really have one bad loss, and that was to the Patriots. Everything else, I mean, 8 of their 12 losses were to playoff-eligible teams today that are playoff-eligible. That says something. And then they lost to San Francisco and Arizona, who both just got eliminated. So it's not like they're losing to bad teams on a regular basis. I don't think they're as bad as their record says it is.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's a little bit of a scary game for the Bills. That first game we played in New York was close, and they played a decent game that game. So I don't think it's going to be that 10-point spread that Vegas thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little bit of a closer game, especially the way we play against division opponents and especially the way we played against New England.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jets have lost 7 one-score games. So, as you mentioned, tight game against the Bills the last time. Mm-hmm. I think Breece Hall is the issue for them. I don't think it's Aaron Rodgers. Breece Hall is averaging 13 carries a game and 17 touches a game. He is way too explosive and dynamic to be held back that much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff is a mess for the Jets. They don't know really what they're doing. They're giving the ball to Davante Adams a lot now that he's on the field because Aaron Rodgers loves him, and now Garrett Wilson's not getting the ball, and they have all these weapons, and they don't know who is the best weapon. So I don't think the issues are with the players. I think it's the coaching staff, and I think it's the leadership in that locker room that's a real issue. But that doesn't mean they don't have guys who can come out and play decent against the Bills, especially if our defense is banged up like it was last week.
Be interesting to see if Quinnen Williams plays in this game. He didn't in the last game. He's, of course, a big piece of that D-line for the Jets. Okay, so you think this is going to be a game where the Jets cover, so a little bit closer. So what do you think? Give me a score prediction.
I like the Bills in this game, 21-14.
21-14. All right, I'll take the Bills as well. I'm going to go 24-13, so we'll just basically turn around the second numbers in our picks. But, yeah, I think the Bills cover. You don't. But it's going to be a little bit closer than I think a lot of people think it's going to be. All right, thanks so much to Aesthetic Associates, Shatkin Dental, Dr. Todd Shatkin, of course, Myers RV, and Sorrentino's Pizza on Main Street. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Madeline Hall from Game Day Hospitality for guesting. And, of course, to our great crew and for you watching. Go Bills! Happy New Year to you from all of us from the Shatkin First Down Buffalo pregame show.
In the Pocket is sponsored by Mini Dumpster Rental. Call 716-429-6362. This has been a production of the Shatkin Sports Network.